And I remember thinking to myself, like, God, like, what if this goes wrong? What if this goes wrong? And of course it goes wrong.
Right. Hey, you're listening to Travel Like You. It's Sarah, and we're back with another episode. This time, I'm introducing you to Anna, one of my best friends I made right here in Bordeaux. Born and raised in Nebraska, of Laotian heritage, and currently studying on the other side of the world, she's got a lot to share about her travels, and we've got a lot to learn. From valuable advice on lost luggage, long layovers, and leaving time for rest, from Africa to Europe to Asia. This episode is full of lessons she learned the hard way so that you don't have to, and that you'll definitely want to pack with you on your next trip. Hi, Anna. Speak right into the mic.
Excuse me. Hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're here. We've officially turned the fans off. It is scorching hot in Bordeaux, but we're here and we're ready to do it. So, Anna, before we get into it, can you introduce yourself to people who don't know you?
Yep. So, I am originally from Nebraska, from a very small town called South Sioux City. I grew up there my entire life. I went to college there, or I went to college 2 hours away from my home state. Mm-hmm. And then I actually moved to France about 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it is now my last year. Or for the moment.
Yeah.
For the moment. It's true. How about I'll be back soon?
Yes. Interesting. We'll figure out later what you mean by that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you've been in Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Not just anywhere in France, but in Bordeaux all 4 years, which is really cool. You've become like Bordelaise.
Yeah, something like that.
And so you started out as a teaching assistant. You're doing your master's now. A lot of us have sort of taken the same track.
Yeah.
And so your master's is what's sort of taking you away from France for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll tell it. Spoiler. Anna's going to Taiwan.
Yeah.
So she's leaving pretty soon. But before that, we want to talk about her time here and her time before, actually, because you've done a little bit of world travel, I'd say. Mm-hmm. But before we jump into that, we're going to talk about first how we met. Because
so funny.
It's a travel story, and it's already sort of been mentioned because Francesca was also there. Very first episode of Travel Like You. Francesca talked about how she and I met, and she was with you when we met in Strasbourg. Mm-hmm. So do you want to give your point of view of that story?
Yeah, I remember, first of all, I remember thinking this is one of the nicest hostels. It was pretty nice. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah.
Very clean. Our bunk beds had a curtain,
which
is like the bare minimum.
I know.
I feel like for a hostel, but like, I think me and Francesca, because the hostel room was split up, like there was like an upstairs and a downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was like
loft
stairs.
style.
Yeah,
it was a loft style.
Yeah,
and I think I don't know what me and Francesca are talking about, but then I just hear Sarah go like, "Are you guys American?"
You popped out of your, cocoon in your hostel.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Are you guys American? Are you guys teaching assistants in France?" And we're like, "Yeah."
And I come down the stairs and we start talking. I meet your other friends, Michael and Harley, and we get to talking for a bit, and we realize that we have the same mutual friend, which is Alyssa.
Oh, yes. Alyssa.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Alyssa.
Because I don't know if you remembered, but like I think we had said something like, "Oh yeah, let's meet up later or something." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually meeting up with like this girl I met on Reddit."
Yeah.
Of all places. I met a lot of people online, and I should not.
Dude, I met Alyssa on a Discord chat. So yeah, like we're all people who did the teaching assistant program, and she and I went on vacation together. That's the first time we ever met. Yeah. Was Alyssa and I planned a hiking trip together, completely online, and then met for the first time on the hiking trip.
Yeah.
So
that's so funny.
Sometimes it works out. I met her that way. I met my friend Sarah that way. There's tons of people that I've like sneakily met online that I've actually met in person now.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we all ended up going to see other friends later in the trip. And Strasbourg, for people who don't know, is in the north of France on the border with Germany. Used to be part of Germany. Over many years, it actually went back and forth. So there's a lot of German influence in the city, but it is technically a French city as of right now. And we were going for the Christmas markets there because it's known as like the North Pole, like Santa town, like Christmas town of Europe. Right. So we were there our first year of the teaching assistant program, totally randomly. Like mine was a last minute booked trip completely to go out there. I don't know how we managed to get a hostel last minute for 3 people and get to go because we were like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. We should do it like 2 or 3 weeks before. And we got even a flight to get there. But that's a fun trip to do, and I would really like to go back and do it again for Christmas one year. But you didn't just do Strasbourg, right?
I did Strasbourg, and I did a day trip to Colmar, which is also another like very Christmassy town. It's very popular. And I also went to Chamonix.
Yeah.
Oh, Chamonix. I forgot about Chamonix.
All in the same trip?
Yeah, all in the same trip.
God.
It was really hectic. But I'm so happy I did it, especially during my first year living in France, because I will never have that much free time again.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of people who've lived in France their whole life who've never even gone to these places. So I'm very grateful to have done that.
Yeah. I know what you mean. For some things, I really feel like I've seen a lot more of France than some French people that I meet. And it's because whether we like it or not, we're tourists. We're not from here. So we're like, ooh, I want to see everything. And it is such a good opportunity to have those 2 weeks every so often. And then you get to go do like Strasbourg, Colmar, and Chamonix. Like, that's insane. I think we might have gone, we went back to Nantes for Christmas, which was one of like the most special Christmases I've ever had. First one away from my family, and I spent it with my group from Nantes, and then we went back to Paris for New Year's.
Yeah,
that was a crazy time. So that's how we met. We exchanged contact info, and then a year later, not even a year later.
No, like maybe like 7 months, 8 months.
Yeah, I was back in Bordeaux. And I remember I reached out to you this summer leading up to coming back to France because we had to go home in between.
Yeah.
And I remember you and our friend Abby were buying Harry Styles tickets. And at this point, I say our friend Abby, but I did not know Abby at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I only knew you from that one exchange in Strasbourg, but we'd kept in touch on Instagram. And y'all said you were going to the Harry Styles concert the year after. So we were buying our tickets a year in advance.
That's so crazy, actually. I don't know if I've ever bought tickets that far in advance. Wait, no, that's crazy.
We bought our tickets a year in advance and I barely knew you. But I couldn't get tickets near you anyway. We were sitting on the opposite sides of the stadium in the end. So God forbid our friendship didn't work out. It wouldn't have mattered. But that was a good sign probably from the beginning. And then a year later we found ourselves in Paris for Harry Styles.
Yeah.
So it's wild to think that we've been here for so long. I've been in this apartment for 3 years. And come October, crazy. And you've moved around the city too. And we've switched our paths a little bit. But before we jump into all of that, we have one important thing we always have to start with, and that is the no context story. So, Anna, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, So while I was traveling, I was doing some international travel, and I had one beer. But that day ended up with me going to the hospital and getting a shot on my butt.
What?
Yes.
Oh God! So we know nothing in between.
No. So,
All right.
see what happens.
Perfect. Okay. I don't know this story. Okay, that's so funny. All right, we will maybe get back to that, but in between, right? There's been a lot of places you've been. So what I know about you is your family is from Laos, and so I know you've been out there before.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Lao is honestly one of the only, prior to everything in France and even before my studies, like for my bachelor's degree, Lao was the only other country I had really visited because that's where all my family is. And it's also pretty expensive to go all the way out there from Nebraska.
Right, dead center.
Yeah, dead center. And so that was really the only like family trips we took together. We didn't really do family vacations in the US. We would save up for years and go. We used to try to go, like, I would say maybe every 4 to 8 years. I think the very first time I went, I was 3 years old. Obviously, I don't remember it. Actually, I might have been a bit younger because I remember my mom saying, and I feel so bad for her, I cried the entire flight.
Yeah.
And that is a 16-hour flight.
No.
Yeah.
The entire 16
Yeah.
hours.
I know. My mom,
God.
she's so real. Like, that would have thrown me out the window.
You know what? Forget it.
Yeah. Like, no, I've been like, whatever. Fuck this kid. But yeah, I feel so bad for my mom. But yeah, so I would say around like 2 or 3 years old. I went, and then I went again when I was 8 years old. And the last time I went, I was 18 years old. So that was a big pause. That was 10 years.
Okay. That was the last time you went there.
Yes.
Yeah. And in between, I think I know that part of the reason why you haven't gotten a chance to go back is because there was COVID too, right? There was a plan.
We had planned for our family to go in 2020 because that's when I finished my bachelor's degree. But of course, COVID happened.
Right.
And because it is a poorer country, they didn't have like the same access to like medicine and resources and like supplies and stuff like that to like fight COVID.
Yeah.
So the country was on like a pretty strict lockdown up until May 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, for a long time.
Yeah, a very long time. Whereas
compared to others.
Yeah, because I moved to France in 2021.
Right.
You know, so I was still doing stuff internationally, but the country was pretty strict on lockdown and COVID and stuff.
Yeah. So that kind of put a wrench in your plan to go back in between. But when you were 18 and you went, did you go as a whole family?
Not as a whole family.
Okay.
It was just me, my mom, and my brother.
Okay. All right. And what did you do?
Man, what did I do? I remember the heat very well.
Yeah.
And you know, I was actually talking to my friend Brittany about this last night, is I was telling her about this heat wave that we're experiencing right now in France. And I was saying, like, I'm literally Laotian. I have that in me. Why can't I stand this fucking heat? Why can't I stand this heat?
Yeah.
You know, like, it makes no sense. But also, like, no human is meant to withstand global warming. So,
yeah.
anyways.
It's true. I know it's, for the record, like, it started in the end of June, right? We're a little bit later now. This was, spoiler, recorded in July. Like this gigantic heat wave. In French, it's a canicule. But like, it's been brutal. I joke because I was born in Canada, right? And so when it's really cold out, I'm like, what? This is supposed to be in my blood. You know what I mean? Montreal, like, it's like -20 out there, Fahrenheit. Like, it's ridiculous. But I grew up in Florida. So it's like, you grew up in Nebraska.
Yeah.
So you had air conditioning, presumably. I had, summer at all times.
Yeah.
So I'm not used to the cold, and that makes sense why you're not used to the intense heat.
Very hot. Yeah, but we actually well, I think we might have went during like a cooler season because it
Okay.
was the summer,
Right.
and it's monsoon season during the summer normally. So yeah, we got like a bunch of crazy rain. I remember like just chilling on my aunt's porch because we usually stay with her whenever we go. And it was actually really nice just sitting on a hammock, sitting on a chair, and like huge like rainfall.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I go to Laos, we never do something super big because we're there just to see our family.
Right.
So we don't like do like the super touristy things.
Mm-hmm.
And some of like just like the really big things I remember is of course like going out to eat a lot, the street markets, also going to like this really well-known waterfall called Pusawan. It's, I believe, more in the south of Laos, and it's very beautiful. It's very big. At the time, my cousin just had a baby, and his name is Happy.
Aw. Is he a happy baby?
Yeah, he is. Well, I mean, he's probably like
He's
10
10
now.
So cute.
So I hope he's still happy.
Yeah. He's
But,
got no choice.
Yeah, but he's like the most memorable part of that trip because we just spent that entire trip playing with him,
Yeah.
carrying him around, taking him everywhere. He was very funny.
That's sweet. I don't know. Honestly, before meeting you, I wasn't really aware of a lot of the history of that region, or even in general. Like, I probably couldn't have pointed out Laos on a map, if I'm being completely honest. And so is there anything that like you think people should know? Because, you know, part of the reason why people listen to this podcast is like, oh, that sounds like an interesting place to visit. You know what I mean? You go to see your family and appreciate like your home culture, right? But other people who might visit that region, right next door, there's Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken. Thailand. So people are often in that region visiting those other countries. I don't hear as many people visiting Laos. What would you say about if someone were to visit Laos? How would they? How could they appreciate it?
I think definitely, but I think this goes for every country. I say this pretty often, is like really understanding the history as to why a country is what they are today. I think Laos is often forgotten because of its endured history, especially during the Vietnam War era, because if you don't know, and it's called America's Secret War for a reason. For several years, Laos was continuously bombed. I believe they said about 580,000 bombs were dropped on this very, very small country. If you ever get the chance to look it up, it is very tiny. And to this day, there are still tons of bombs that did not go off. And so the country will randomly have bombs that explode, which of course still affects the people that live there. And I think that is very important to learn and to understand, and to understand how the country functions. Its history, I think, is very, it's very sad and it's very traumatizing, but it's very interesting and it's really good to know.
So if you're an American going there, you should know the history, obviously. That's really important. I think we've talked about it on several episodes at this point, but it can never be said too much. That before you go somewhere, especially as someone coming from maybe a European country or the United States or any country that has like a colonial history as a colonizer, you should know what your country's involvement maybe was in the country you're going to, because you'd be surprised. I bet the average American would have no idea, because, we're used to hearing about Vietnam or other country, Japan, right? The Axis powers, World War II. We're used to hearing about like quote unquote bigger wars. And it's literally called the Secret War.
Because it was kept a secret. Right. It was really like, because I actually wrote my bachelor capstone on this, like my big final paper. And I remember when I had presented this, like so many of my peers, not even my professor, they had not known about this at all. And like, so I really emphasized it's called secret for a reason, because yeah, it's just true that a lot of politicians just wanted to cover up this very horrific thing that they did at the time. And I believe it was like Obama. I'm pretty sure he was like the first president to really recognize
Really?
what the US had done to Laos, because
Wow.
during his presidency, I don't remember the exact number, but he had promised to give like a certain amount of money to Laos to clean up what has happened.
To help,
Yeah.
recovery of all those detonated bombs, I'm sure. Okay. Yeah. So that goes, again, like, it can't go without saying, because it really is something so important to remind people that, like, it doesn't take that much effort. I mean, we're in the internet age. Look it up. And just understand that when you're visiting somewhere.
Yeah.
It is a small, you said, landlocked country. Don't go there expecting to go to the beach.
Yeah.
So do your that's the thing. Do your research about the country before you
Yeah.
go. And you said, like, there's these street markets, there's waterfalls, things like
Yeah.
that.
And people there are very, very nice.
Okay.
So they'll be very welcoming.
Yeah, that's cool. Good. So it's a sort of an unfortunately underheard of country.
Yeah.
But that maybe is on, your Southeast Asian trips that everybody's taken. This might be a country on the list. And so it's important to not just go and experience, but also understand maybe what you're looking at, when you're going there and meeting people and eating their food and stuff like that. What's the food like there in comparison to maybe the other countries in the region, like maybe a special dish or anything?
Very spicy.
Okay.
I also got that in me. I love spicy food. I can really withstand a lot of heat.
Yeah. That's so funny, because I just talked to Toma, and then a couple episodes ago I talked to Luca, and they're both like not really spicy people, but you're one of the few people I think I've had on the podcast who's like, yup, give it to me hotter.
Yeah. Something like Lao is very well known for, is there's a lot of dishes actually, but one of my favorite dishes, it's called damakong.
Okay.
And damakong is a papaya salad.
Ooh.
It's basically just a bunch of shredded up papaya with a lot of different spices.
Okay.
And it's very, very spicy. You can often eat it with it's normally like a side dish, but I feel like it's always been my main dish. Like I would just eat that with rice.
Yeah.
But it's usually a side dish.
Okay.
Like it's not supposed to be the main star, but it does become the main star a lot of times. But you eat it with I feel like often with fish or chicken.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Papaya with fish or chicken.
Yeah. And we eat it a lot with to help you cool down with like cucumbers, other veggies, just to kind of help you cool down. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And did your mom make that back home?
Yeah.
In Nebraska?
All the time.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably going to have it pretty soon.
Nice. Oh, that's good. That's something to look forward to. Oh, that's so cool. All right. That's great. Okay. I feel like I've definitely learned something, even though like I've spoken to you about Lao before. I knew about its history, but it's unfortunate that we don't learn as much as I think we should about the rest of the world coming out of North America in general. But I feel like this could be really valuable to a lot of people, especially because these Southeast Asian trips are so common. But people are mostly going to the better known countries. And they might skip Lao, or they might go through it really not knowing what the history is. Yeah. And it's worth informing yourself about. Awesome.
After that, I started my bachelor's degree. And during my bachelor's degree, I went back and forth between a couple different majors, as everyone does, or most people do, I should say. And I ended up studying global studies. And part of my studies, it was a requirement to study abroad. But of course, there is also another option. The advisor for this program is extremely sweet and very understanding. There was also the other option of just doing an internship. Okay. But I fortunately was able to do a study abroad just because of like some grants. I also found like a more affordable option. And so summer of 2019 is when I went to Morocco for my study abroad. I went for 3 months. I was in a more traditional town, a bit smaller, called Meknes.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about like Marrakesh.
Yeah, everyone talks about like Marrakesh or Casablanca, but I believe it was really geared to my studies because, so yeah, as I said, I had studied global studies. That was my major, but of course I had themes, I had specialties. And for the studies, I had studied foreign policy and culture, specifically in the Middle East and North African regions. And so that is why I went to Morocco. Because also, I should preface that at the time, this was like my first time really studying French.
Right.
Because part of this major was also to have a foreign language. And I remember at first being offered to come to France, to come here, to study in Paris. But I found it strange it makes sense to some extent because I studied culture as well. But of course, there's like a very major political side to my studies.
Right, definitely.
And the only thing offered for Paris was art classes, like art history, culture. And it was like, I feel like it really contradicted my studies and especially the region of my studies.
Right.
You know? And so I was very, very happy to have found Morocco as another option, especially as a country that also speaks French. And yeah, I spent 3 months there during the summer of 2019. I took classes on Islamic studies. That's also where I greatly improved. Well, started my French journey. I wouldn't say greatly improved.
Hey, but the beginning is there's always like a jump. You know what I mean? You go from 0 to something, and that feels huge. So it was a big, I'm sure,
it was a big moment for me. A very, very big moment for me.
Yeah.
Because I remember at the time feeling a little behind because the high school I had went to didn't offer a lot of foreign languages. Actually, it didn't offer any except one, I should say.
Was it Spanish?
It was Spanish,
Okay,
yeah. And when I went to university and realized just how many options all the other schools had, or all the other students had, I was like, whoa, okay, I'm very behind, and but I'm really happy that I had the opportunity to go to Morocco and make this big jump. Because I was starting from scratch, I would say, with French. And while I was in Morocco, I did a lot of traveling. It was really great because during the 3 months I was there were trips planned for almost every weekend.
Wow.
And actually, when you first land, you land in Casablanca.
Okay.
And then my coordinators came to pick us up.
Oh, nice.
And I just remembered, I totally forgot about this, that, Morocco is a more traditional country.
Right.
And to respect their culture, you should definitely like dress as them, dress more modest.
Okay.
I should say. And I show up, wearing leggings, my chacos, and a windbreaker, which isn't bad, but of course that is super American, super touristy, because I had assumed, as any person traveling, that I would immediately receive my luggage, that I would be able to change before going to the mosque. And I went.
You went to a mosque like that?
Like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So bad. I totally forgot this happened. Like, what's crazy is that this is my very first time traveling alone too. And I remember thinking to myself, like, God, like, what if this goes wrong? What if this goes wrong? And of course it goes wrong.
Right. You didn't get your luggage right away. They lost it?
They lost it for like a day or two.
Oh man, still.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was rough. It was really rough, especially because the only clothes I had were was what I was wearing.
Oh my God.
I didn't bring a carry-on with me because I was only there for 3 months. So I just checked in a big bag.
Right.
And
oh my God.
so I was wearing that stanky outfit for 72 hours maybe.
Oh my God.
Straight to the mosque, to the beach.
To the beach. No, Anna. Oh my gosh. So you get off the plane and the coordinators pick you up. You don't have your luggage, and so you just have to follow them and do the visits and things like that they've organized for you?
Yeah, but thank goodness that the first part of the study abroad experience was in Casablanca for a couple days.
Oh, okay.
So I thankfully was able to go back to the airport. I think literally the day that we were supposed to leave to go to Meknes, they had received my suitcase. And it was,
Thank God.
yeah, I remember, I was like at the beach in my windbreaker and my leggings, and and my coordinator gets a call from someone at the airport being like, oh, hey, we have this luggage. And we immediately get into a taxi and go get it. And I'm so happy.
Right.
And also what's funny is at this time, apparently Travis Scott was also at the same airport. And I didn't even know because I was so focused on my luggage.
Anna.
I know.
Especially at that point in your life, you're like, Travis Scott.
Yeah. Yeah, at that point, like, of course, like, he was, like, in.
Yeah,
at the
all
time.
the thing. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so funny. There's a celebrity at the airport. You're like, I have been wearing the same clothes for
Yeah.
days. Like, I can't even think of anything else.
No, I literally, it's so crazy.
That's hilarious. Oh, I'm glad it worked out because that could have been brutal.
Yeah, and since, like, literally since that trip, I now carry an extra outfit.
On you, yeah.
Even if I don't have a carry-on, I put it in my backpack.
Yeah.
Because that was really bad.
That's an expert tip.
Like, just have an extra outfit. You really don't know at this point.
If you're gonna take anything away from this story.
Yeah, from this part of the story,
Yeah.
bring an extra outfit.
Too bad. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean actually now because I'm cheap or rather I can't afford the freaking carry-on fees and stuff all the time. I do not pay for carry-ons, but I bring them anyway, and I definitely don't check any bags usually because I have a massive backpack. And so luckily I'm usually in a position where all of my belongings are on me. And so I think with all the traveling I've been able to do in the last few years, knock on wood, oh my God, Jesus Christ. I have not been in a situation where my luggage has ever been lost. You know what? I will say though, I have had another experience that was horrible in terms of losing something. And last summer, so summer 2024, because I remember, I think I called you bawling my eyes out. I left my computer on the airplane.
Yes, I remember.
I landed in Miami and I stupidly left my laptop in the overhead bin. Who does that? I was, well, to be fair, like I had that was one of the worst travel days of my life because just mentioned I don't pay for carry-ons. I had left Bordeaux.
Oh yes, I remember.
It was the worst day. I left Bordeaux at 7 a.m., had a flight to my connection in the UK somewhere. And I got charged for my carry-on at the gate. Unexpectedly, but hey, it's part of the risk. So there was $60 down the drain. And because my connecting flight wasn't actually part of the original booking, there were two separate flights, I was going to get charged again for the carry-on in the UK for my next leg of the trip. But thank God the guy at the gate like really took pity on me and was like, you know what, you can go through.
Yeah.
So that was like one upside. But then that flight was Norse Airways or whatever. Norse Atlantic Airways. So if anyone takes this airline, just know that one, if you get a really cheap flight, I think my flight from let's say it was London to Miami, I think the original cost of the flight was like $200, maybe $300. Okay, that's cheap as hell. It's because North Atlantic Airways doesn't give you food on a 9-hour flight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So luckily I saw that, like I think the day before I saw that there was no food on the flight and I made sure to go to the grocery store and like have stuff on me. But oh my gosh. So that was a brutal trip. I was sitting at the last seat in the very, very back of the plane. I think I was sick. I think I had a cold. So the entire flight, I was like blowing my nose. It was awful. And then I just want to get off, right?
Yeah.
And I had put all my belongings in the overhead bin and ran off the plane, took my backpack and forgot that next to my backpack was my laptop. And I didn't realize, maybe I get into Miami in the afternoon. I didn't realize until 11 p.m. that I didn't have my laptop on me. And so I'm like, oh my God, I can't call the airline. I can't call the airport. And of course, I'm emailing, I'm calling anyway. I wake up at like 7 a.m. the next morning to call and email and whatever. And I kid you not, the airline goes, we can't help you. You have to talk to the airport. The airport goes, we can't help you. You have to talk to the airline. And so for 2 days, I'm like a Karen, like calling everyone, being like, what the hell? I call one of my good friends from high school, Ashley, shout out, who is a flight attendant. And she is like, no. You need to complain. You need to like go to the Department of Transportation. Because imagine if they didn't find a laptop on a plane. Like that's a huge security issue. So she was like, no. They found it. They're just being lazy and like not, uploading it or whatever to their system, lost and found, whatever. So with perseverance, right, I ended up finally getting to the right person and getting my laptop back like 3 days later. But I would have lost the first like 4 episodes of this podcast.
Yeah.
I would have lost like everything. I had a backup from maybe a few months before, but oh my God.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And you'd think I would have learned my lesson, but I just recently lost a jacket on it for the exact same reason on a plane, like a beloved jacket on a plane, because I left it in the damn overhead bin. So that was my fault. But I think I would lose my shit if I lost like luggage, or if the airline, right? Because it's not you. The airline lost my luggage. Oh my God, I would lose my mind.
And something I just remembered is there was also people missing their luggage. Not from my program, but like the people who I'd also taken that flight with. Like I remember we were all waiting in line.
Oh, so you were of several people.
Yeah, I was one of several people.
I guess it makes sense that it's usually not just one person's luggage who's lost. But Jesus, that's brutal. And you're getting there in the summer.
Yep. So that those leggings and windbreaker were working overtime.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Because of course on a plane you dress warmer.
Right.
Because it's cold on there and they blast the AC. So yeah, I wore the like worst outfit possible for blazing heat.
Gosh, that's insane. The moral of the story, right? There's nothing you can do about losing luggage,
but have an extra outfit with you.
Have an extra outfit. That's crazy. So when you got your luggage and you went off to your city where you lived in actually for 3 months, how'd that go?
It was really great. I miss it very much. I think about this time very fondly because I was so hesitant to go. I remember, I'm from Nebraska. It's a very small state. People usually from Nebraska stay in Nebraska. So, of course, I was like very similar where I was just really scared to go. And to this day, I actually still keep in contact with this professor who really like pushed for me to go. Yeah. Like it was very kind of like tough love. And I think about how this trip or how this like time in my life really, I think, shaped what my life looks like now, because it really got me out of my comfort zone. I remember it really helped me appreciate my own culture more. Oh, right. Because especially, people in Morocco, they're really proud to be Moroccan, as they should be. And I think that really helped me be proud of like my background, my culture, my heritage, And yeah, it was like just a really great time. I went to so many different cities. I ate a lot of couscous, ate a lot of tagine. Did a lot of like negotiations. Oh, yeah. Like the souks.
Oh, yes. I guess it's like bartering? Bargaining?
Yeah, bartering.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you were doing like those, negotiations, bargaining. Yeah, a little bit.
I don't think I did that much now that I think about it. I think I just went to the souks a lot, but I never actually bought much now that I remember. Okay. Because I was very, at the time, and I'm still like this, as you know, I don't like having a lot of stuff. Right. Because I move around so often. Now more than ever, I don't like having a lot of stuff. And even during my bachelor degree, I did not like having a lot of stuff because every year I was moving into like a different apartment. So I've never really been the type to have a lot of souvenirs.
Yeah, I do know that about you. You don't have many like trinkets, I guess you could say, like if
knickknacks. I don't know.
if they really mean something to you. But no, you're pretty good at, like, I have a problem.
No, I will say my favorite way to have a souvenir, as you know, is jewelry.
Yeah.
Because that is something I
useful.
wear so much. So I wear a lot of jewelry. And so almost every country I've been to, I have a piece of jewelry from that country.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's a really good way to do it. I like little things. I have a problem. I'm looking at like the magnets on my fridge. I'm like thinking about how I got you like a snow globe from Greece.
Snow globe.
From Greece.
Of all places,
like,
too. That's not even like Strasbourg or Colmar.
I know.
Like a wintry place.
Yeah. I was like, this is funny. Why do they sell these here? I had to.
Yeah.
But but the thing is those things I hope to one day sort of accumulate and present in my home, because growing up, my dad had a little armoire, I guess you could say, a little one with like a window, and I remember always looking at it, and there was I would ask him questions about what the little trinkets were, like based on whatever country he went to. There was like some painted little animal, and I'd be like, oh, where's that from, etc. So I like that idea of sort of using, and one day I want to be able to buy things on my travels that like are really good, like decorative pieces or like statement things that I can use to decorate my home within reason.
Yeah.
You know, like a beautiful vase from somewhere, because right now it's like magnet because like I'm moving everywhere, or I'm not necessarily in my own space. So I'm not, I could buy like a sick rug from somewhere if I one day actually have somewhere to bring it back to.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to put it into storage. Otherwise, I just collect postcards now. That's my way of like taming my knickknack little obsession. But okay. And so while you're in Morocco, you're not just sort of hanging out, taking classes, but you're going on excursions, right? You're visiting, you're eating, you're going to the souks. But what kind of things were you doing when you weren't in class?
So every weekend, as I had said, there was like usually trips planned for us. We went to cities such as Rabat, Fez. We also went to Marrakesh. That was actually more of a girls' trip. That was a trip that wasn't planned by the coordinators, because we did have some free weekends where they were like, do what you want.
That's
so
cool.
We went to Marrakesh. It was really cool. It was like me and like a few other girls, and it was really nice. But I think my most memorable excursion is the Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
This was also like, I feel like a pretty monumental moment for me as well. What's crazy is I remember we get to the Sahara Desert and there's like Wi-Fi.
What?
I have service somehow. And
that's so funny.
I remember the first thing I did was FaceTiming my parents.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool.
And I remember they were just so happy because I know for a fact they were so worried for me too, to be going to a completely different like continent, different country.
Right.
Something that, we not like a lot of us had a lot of knowledge about prior to it. So of course there's, they were a bit nervous, but when they like saw me FaceTiming them from the Sahara Desert, and it's so funny because at the time we had just gotten our dog Daisy. So she was 5 months and they also put her on FaceTime.
Look, Daisy, look at the sand. I'm dead.
And yeah, we spent a couple of days there, not in the Sahara Desert itself. I think we had only been in the desert for like a night or two. And I just remember, because, obviously at nighttime, the skies are super clear out there. And I remember like I could see like every single star. It was very beautiful. I remember me and my friends just like sitting in a circle, looking up at the sky, like looking at the stars. And like I said, I think Morocco really was such a monumental moment into realizing what I wanted in life. Because I think that moment made me go like, I want so much more in life.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very sweet trip for me.
Aw.
Like that's a very memorable excursion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when you realize sort of, at least from what I can understand from the way you've described your experience, is like you see that there's so much more out there, and that you're doing something already so extraordinary that there's so many more things that you could possibly do. It makes you it's inspiring. It sounds really cliche and like
Yeah.
a little corny, but it's true. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, it sounds like a movie, but movies are written based on true
Real
things,
life, yeah.
sometimes, and it's really an experience that not everybody gets, but
Yeah.
when you get it, you're like, whoa. Like that trip I mentioned already, when we went hiking in the Pyrenees I went with strangers, right? Who are now like people that I keep in contact with on social media because we've spread out again. But like this introduced people into my life. And I remember being on this hiking trip and sitting on top of a mountain and looking over a mountain range that I'd never even imagined I could see, right? So many peaks, you know what I mean? And lakes, and it's been a beautiful day, and my nose started bleeding climbing this damn mountain, you know what I mean?
It's so dry.
Yeah, 'cause it was dry, it was cold, and I was so proud to be there, and I was like, oh my God, like, I can do this. And it makes you go, oh my God, I can do anything. You know
No,
what I mean?
literally, yeah.
But I started crying because I was like,
Yeah.
wow. And, an experience like that really does set you sort of off on a...
Yeah, it really, because prior to this, like, this trip, or not trip, I need to stop calling it a trip. Prior to this study I did, I was so sure at the time that I was going to move to the East Coast. I was going to, like, live in DC and, like, immediately start working or something like that. But it was, again, like, I give a lot of praise to this professor, because she just changed the trajectory of my life. And I know it's such a cliche. A lot of like students who study abroad feel the same way, but it's true. It's because you realize just how much more is out there, and like thankfully I've been able to make it work and actually make it work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, for real.
Yeah.
And you were so fortunate to have had this person and people who worked for you to help you get the means to go, because I know this wasn't something that you could have just paid out of pocket for.
Right, exactly.
I couldn't have paid out of pocket for my study abroad. I was able to finagle a quote unquote study abroad because I wanted to go, right, and do the big trip that everybody got to do, to go to, I think it was Italy in my college, but it was way too expensive.
Right.
So I did a summer in Canada. And that was my study abroad. And I got to spend 2 months there seeing my family and exploring Montreal. And that was really cool. I took French classes, and that was my study abroad experience. But that also opened a door to me, like, oh, I can do it. I can go somewhere, be like quote unquote by myself. But I had this safety net of my family being around. I got to see my mom. This was 10 years ago. And so this was something that, also I would say inspired just the ability to go and do something by myself. You know what I mean? And it's also a testament to, I would say, to, like you said, a lot of people say, oh, their study abroad experience was like transformative, this, that, and the other. Good. It's like good. I mean, it's definitely a cliche, and there are some people, I think the biggest joke is like people who don't shut up about their study abroad experience, but like,
or people who come back and suddenly have an accent. Like, shut up. Like, okay, anyways.
They're like, oh yes, I spent 3 months in France,
Yeah.
They can't just be like baguette. They're like, baguette. But I see people being sort of like made fun of, we'll say, on social media for like talking too much about their study abroad. But this just goes to show it really is, if you can do it, so worth it. Yeah. And that said, it should be more accessible. I think study abroad programs are always so expensive.
Yeah, very expensive. And that's also another big reason why I didn't go to Paris, because it was even more expensive. Right. And so that's why I chose Morocco, because it was a lot more manageable at the time.
I think if anything, that's another thing that this proves is like, the first choice, the main choice, Paris, if you're studying French, let's say.
That's where everyone
Everyone goes. Well, look into other places, right? I went to Montreal. You went to Morocco. Like, and I think I could arguably say that our experiences were even more sort of enriching because it wasn't, you know, the typical one, you know, and people aren't always as willing to like go
Branch
off.
out,
Yeah, exactly. Go off like the trajectory that,
Right.
oh, the study abroad is in Paris, you gotta go, or it's in Italy, you gotta go. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what about other places where you can get a similar, if not more interesting experience? Big thanks to Group Fen Expert, Southeast Florida's trusted experts in impact window and door installation. Family owned since 2001, they're dedicated to top quality products, expert service, and keeping homes safe. Thanks, guys. So you come back, and so the rest of your studies were COVID time. Oh, yeah, you graduated.
Yeah, I was part of like the first graduating class of COVID where
Wow.
no one knew what to do.
Oh.
It was like we had our ceremony online. It was just such a weird moment because obviously when you think of, at least like for American graduations, they're very extravagant, very big. And so I had always pictured my graduation being such a like monumental part of my life. But I'm literally in my bed with my best friend Brittany, because Brittany at the time she went to Harvard, and so of course everything shut down, so she comes back to Nebraska. And you know, we're both like, well, what are we gonna do? So she just comes to my apartment, and we're both laying in my bed watching my graduation ceremony on my laptop.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Did they have like you were part of the first class. Did they have like a makeup ceremony?
Yes, they
did.
had a makeup ceremony August of 2021.
Okay.
And we got to do that.
Oh,
yeah, it was
okay.
it was really sweet. I got to do it with my really good friends Richard and Alex.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. I'm really glad you had the opportunity and could do it, because I know
Yeah.
people who like couldn't make up their graduation too, because that sucks. I can't even imagine. I know like my cousin went through her high school graduation during COVID and like couldn't do her big trips and stuff like that, and you don't get to walk across the stage for your bachelor's, like that's too bad. But you got it August 2021, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And I think that's what was really like sweet about that is a month later I moved to France. So it was a really good like chapter.
Yeah.
A way to close my chapter with Nebraska.
Yeah.
It was really sweet, I think.
Okay.
Because I remember being so sad, of course, about not having a graduation ceremony because, again, as Americans, we have very extravagant graduations, but also because I was the first in my family to graduate from a university. So it was like a really huge moment that I felt really sad about. So I was so happy that I got to do that right before coming to France.
Right. Yeah. It's true. It's cool to have them like one right after another, because you are really directly turning a page. Like one page is closing your college career, and then the next is moving to another continent. That's so cool.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Wow. Yeah, because you got here, I imagine, September 2021.
Yep.
Literally the month later.
No, literally a month later.
Amazing.
In France.
And like we've mentioned already, you were here for the same program that I did, right? We both did TAPIF, the teaching assistant program in France, and you came straight to Bordeaux.
Yeah, straight to Bordeaux. Very, very lucky I got placed here. I mean, well, I taught in a suburb nearby called Mérignac, but I mean, it's only 20 minutes by tram.
Yeah.
But again, I think I got very lucky to be placed here because I know a lot of people didn't get the same type of like city life, you know, so.
And again, like I can only thank like the stars for finding the apartment that I'm currently in and still have been in, and the roommates that I had and have, that was, you know, part of what made it possible for me to live in the city center and just work right outside the city.
Right.
But yeah. And I know for you, like many people, because we could go on and on about this teaching assistant program. I think I've already decided I'm going to have an episode entirely dedicated to it one day.
Yeah.
But the thing is gosh, I can't say it enough. Like, if you're going to do this program, like, be prepared to be struggling to find housing, because it is tough, and you're not always going to get the same experience. You're going to maybe be in a teeny tiny town, or you might be in a big city, and it still might be really hard to find somewhere to live.
I'm so happy I stuck through it, because obviously here I am 4 years
Hell
later.
yeah.
Yeah. So crazy.
Yeah. And like we mentioned at the beginning, you know, having those every 6 weeks, because that's the school system here. Every 6 weeks, we basically had 2 weeks off. And because we weren't at that point, like, we weren't spending our breaks like grading papers like the real teachers were. We were going on vacation.
Yeah.
So I know you got to do a lot, like I did, right? With that time. You got to visit not just France, but other countries in Europe during your time too. Like I mentioned, I went to Ireland. You and I went to Spain. My first break in Bordeaux. That was one of the first trips we took together. We went to Barcelona. What kind of countries in the last few years have you been able to see thanks to sort of being already in France?
Well, my very first trip outside of France was Germany. I went to Berlin, which is so crazy now because tickets to Berlin are insane.
Right.
At the time in 2021, I was able to get a round trip ticket for 90 euros.
Oh my gosh.
And now it's
like 300-400.
Yeah, it's 300-400 from Bordeaux.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is it? I think it's due in part because this was something that happened last year, right? The budget airlines, like at least one or two that were in the Bordeaux airport, like I think their contract, like they had I was going to say a rupture, which is the French, but like they, you know, couldn't re-sign their contract at the Bordeaux airport for some reason, couldn't come to an agreement. And now Bordeaux's airport so expensive. Is so hard to find cheap flights.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it due in part to that, or just, I think in general, all the flights have gotten more expensive? But
I think also in general, but also this is like fall of 2021. So
4 years ago.
People still weren't really traveling because of COVID.
True, of course.
So it was significantly cheaper.
Right.
It was like,
that makes sense.
I remember because my first year living in France, I traveled to so many different countries. I don't know what, like when I think about that trip and just even that first year in general, I can't believe how, I don't want to say reckless, but naive I was on some things, because that trip, so thankfully the reason I went to Berlin is because I had a friend who was like doing like a study work thing there, not in Berlin, but a town in Germany, and we decided to spend, it was Halloween. It was so fun. There? Yeah.
That's a dream. I would love to do that.
It was really fun. And so he invited me to come out there. And for like my very first trip, also doing this alone, I decided to take this flight where there is a 10-hour layover.
Oh my God.
In Marseille. 10 hours.
What?
And I did that
no wonder
each
so
way.
Cheap too. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I thought it was normal. I literally thought that was normal. Because now I'm like, now I can't, if there's even like a layover for like 5 hours, I'm like, oh my God.
I know. Oh my God, you did so you left the airport, I assume?
No, I slept. I slept in the cafeteria. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, you're not gonna leave the airport.
Yeah, because if you've been to the Marseille airport, you can sleep there.
Oh, okay.
But there's nowhere to sleep except the cafeteria.
Oh, that's too funny. Oh my God. So oh my gosh, that was your hotel for the night.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I remember, even though I spoke to no one, I remember feeling like weirdly comfortable because the people around me were also like young women.
Okay.
So that made me feel very like secure in a way.
Makes sense. You know, I think I read somewhere that solo female travelers, or just like women traveling in general, like is so much on the rise that I believe there's like more often women traveling solo than men at this point.
Yeah.
And so in a weird way, it's like we're all in it together.
Yeah.
It's like alone, but still safety in numbers. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've maybe learned your lesson about having such long layovers, or
Yeah.
you thought it was normal, I
No,
guess.
I thought it was normal because I hadn't really traveled that much. And mind you, this was my very first time being in France and traveling.
Right.
So I thought it was normal.
Right. And you're not used to like maybe looking at like the comparing websites where you can get cheaper and like figuring all of that stuff out or even taking the train and then getting a connecting, like, yeah, that makes sense. Lessons learned.
Yeah.
So funny. Is there anything that happened in Berlin that trip?
I mean, this is like the cliche, but just a lot of partying.
Yeah.
A lot of walking, a lot of bratwurst. I think that was probably my favorite part of the whole trip, is because there's like little like bratwurst stands everywhere.
Anna loves her brat.
I know. I don't know where it came from.
So funny.
Because I hate hot dogs.
Yeah.
I will not eat a hot dog unless that's like my only option. Then I'll eat it. But if there's ever a bratwurst, I'm there.
That's there. I remember we were just at a like music festival in Bordeaux, and we were looking around like the concession, like Anna needs her brat.
Yeah, and there wasn't.
There wasn't. And then there's always like the fair in Bordeaux, like twice a year, and we always go and see if Anna can get her bratwurst.
And it's usually there.
But nothing compares to the Berlin brats.
Yeah. No, Berlin, I think that was a good first trip because I feel like it kind of eased my way into like what traveling in Europe could be like. And again, I was very fortunate to already have a friend there who knew the city well and knew the country and the language well. And I got to meet his other friends, and they were all very, really nice.
Wow.
Very accommodating. And it was honestly a much chiller trip.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't do a lot of touristy things because, of course, I was with people who had been living there for a couple months at this point. And it was so chill. I remember really enjoying it. I mean, of course, besides, like, the cliche, like, clubbing and partying. I remember, I thought about this to myself because for years after, up until now, I was like, oh, I would so live in Berlin.
I was just about to say, I remember when I first met you, we talked about how you had really loved Berlin when you went, and you could see yourself even living there. Like, it's pretty incredible.
I think it is a great city, but I'm really intrigued to go again because I wonder if it was just the novelty of it being my first trip. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Everybody, there's like some trend that I've been seeing for years now. And it's like, you go to a city, you love it, you're walking around, you're eating great food. You're like, should I move here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was definitely me.
That was Berlin for you.
But like, I think it's still a really great city. And
Yeah.
I would love to go back, and I hope I do soon.
Yeah. That's good. And it was one of, like you said, the first trips, there's the novelty to it. But since then, you've had more maybe chaotic trips. It's true. You said this one was more chill. But I was going to say you've definitely learned to do things differently since that trip.
Like, definitely no more layovers. No more super long layovers. Actually, well, I did it a couple more times.
Yeah. Sometimes you have no choice.
Yeah, it's like the only option.
Right.
I definitely did it a couple more times that year. But I think the following year and the years after, nope.
You figured it out otherwise. Yeah. Or it's like maybe financially you can make it make sense.
Yeah.
Right? Because maybe you're, able to get there faster, but you save on a night at a hotel or something like that would make the most sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
But then after Berlin, I had gone to Strasbourg, which is where I met you.
Yeah. Okay, so Berlin was before me?
Yeah, Berlin was before you.
Okay.
And during this time, as in a previous episode you have with Luca, a very good friend, me and him went skiing for the first time ever.
Oh, yes.
And of all places, in the Alps, in the French Alps, in Chamonix.
The first time ever in the Alps.
Yeah.
If you have not listened to Luca's episode, anybody listening, you should go back because this is a spoiler to his no context story.
it was definitely a lesson learned.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're like, "Oh, we're in the Alps. Like, let's go skiing. This is what everyone does." Of course, for experienced skiers, not beginners like us.
Right.
And I remember that morning, or maybe the day before, we had been going back and forth with the idea of going skiing because it was actually pretty affordable to do it at the time. But we were just like, when are we ever going to do this again?
Right.
As we say for a lot of things.
Yeah, it's
like
true.
to justify a lot of things.
True.
So we're like, okay, like, yeah, let's just do it without signing up for a class, without speaking to instructors, without speaking to experienced skiers. We were literally staying in a hostel that was full of skiers.
Oh my God, and you didn't talk
No.
to
Didn't talk to a single one. And I remember, like, I was way too confident. I remember thinking, like, how hard can it be?
Yeah, it's like you just go downhill.
Exactly. I was like, you just go downhill. And so I was like, just to be safe, let me look it up.
Yeah.
And so I went on WikiHow.
Oh my God.
And I go on WikiHow and I like type in how to ski.
Yeah.
And it gives me like the 10 basic steps.
Oh my God.
And I was like, perfect.
I think Lucas said that you guys like, it was like maybe you also watched maybe a 20-minute YouTube video.
How to do like the pizza where you like cross
Pizza,
your
French fries, pizza, French fries.
so that you can know how to stop. And of course that did not work
Oh my
once we
God.
actually got to the mountains. Yeah, so of course we are lugging up all of our stuff up this mountain, carrying our stuff, thinking, yeah, what could possibly go wrong? And we first started on this trail that was like pretty flat, and I was like, easy. Because obviously I didn't ski, I was just standing straight.
Yeah. You're walking.
Yeah.
You're snowshoeing.
And so we take this elevator that goes like to the very top of the mountain. And yeah, it was ugly from then on. Like it was ugly from the beginning. Our friend Sabrina actually made it quite far, but she actually got stuck at some point and someone had to come help her. I gave up after 30 minutes of skiing because I had fallen so hard and I was so scared. And so I went back and like chilled in like the elevator area.
Yeah.
I see Luca 30 minutes later. He's also like, I can't do this. And what's funny is like, you know, so it's super chaotic. We're not skiing. Like, that's such a safety hazard. I do not recommend this. Like, please, if you've never skied before, do not go ski in the Alps. Like, really, like, go take a class somewhere. Because I remember we ran into, like, there's 2 other women in the elevator. And we had told them, like, yeah, it's our first time skiing. And they were like, oh, here. And we were like, no, ever. And they were like, and you went up here?
Oh my
And that
God.
is how we knew.
That you had fucked up.
Yeah. That this range was for, like, very experienced skiers.
Oh my God. And you're not paying attention to like what the colors mean or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just
Of course I'm not. Because I just went on WikiHow.
Right.
And I remember, because the last hard fall, because, you know, when you fall, you kind of, at least for me, I needed someone to help me. Because I was, like,
get up.
stuck. Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm done. I just went back to the elevator.
At least it wasn't like you lost a lot of money or anything. If it was like pretty affordable to go do it and rent the equipment and everything.
Yeah, and it was still such a good experience to even see that in person. Because I remember, like, even though I went back to the elevator and I sat in their little waiting area, just, like, looking out there was, like, so worth the experience.
Oh, I can only imagine the view. Whoa. Because I've seen the Alps from the Italian side, like, but from the ground, you know what I mean? Not in the mountains. And I've seen them, like, from afar, I guess visiting Lyon, but I don't even know if you can see them from there. I might just be making that up. But I know they're not too far. But I've never been to the Alps. I would love to go one day.
Speaking of Lyon, we did a stop in Lyon for like a day or two after Chamonix. And in Lyon is the very first time I got pickpocketed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you been pickpocketed since?
No.
Okay. So
'Cause
just once.
Now
That's horrible.
I'm so hyper aware of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, this can totally happen to anyone.
Literally anybody. Yeah.
But I wish I had listened to my gut, because the reason I got pickpocketed is because I remember seeing these two girls like staring at me as I was buying a ticket. Like they saw like everything. I'm sure they saw where I put my wallet, what part of my bag and everything. And I remember thinking like they're staring at me really hard. And I didn't listen to my gut. And we were trying to get onto the public transportation. I think it was like also like a tram type situation. And out of nowhere, everyone just starts pushing.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I didn't realize that was a tactic.
Yeah.
Because then your stuff just like, you're so out of control.
Yep. And it's wildly, like obviously they're skilled. Like,
yeah.
But it's almost, it seems too easy, because now I see videos of people who like catch the pickpocketers, and you watch them literally just unzip and put their hands in your bag. Like, what, you'd think you'd feel that, but you don't. And that's crazy.
Yeah. It is such a big reason why I have this one tote bag now that has like a secret compartment.
Smart.
Yeah.
Super smart. I mean, there's those like special belts and like things you can put under your clothes too.
Yeah.
I remember when I first came to Europe in 2017, I had like one of those like undershirt belt things. And then I think when I came back in 2021 for France, I had it too. And then now I don't travel with that anymore. But yeah, again, God forbid this ever happens to me, but I have not, knock on wood, ever been pickpocketed. But I think I'm very lucky to have never been pickpocketed. I do not get, it can so happen to literally anybody.
Yeah.
My dad, again, like, should he have had his phone probably in his like back pocket on the metro in Paris? No.
Yeah.
But,
you know, whenever I see that, that's the first thing I think of. Like that just boop.
Yep.
Take it from your back pocket. So I'm really shocked at the amount of people I see who have it just in their pocket.
Oh yeah. I like regrettably will say that I've just done that and then realized later like, oh, I should move it. But I've probably done that so often. I am incredibly lucky not to have been pickpocketed at this point. But it's good to have like a little bag with a compartment or whatever, because it's so common and it's so easy to be pickpocketed, unfortunately. And it sucks, obviously, but it's not something that I would say happens so much, because I feel like a lot of people are very, if they're not familiar with traveling outside of like the US, let's say, and they come from not like a big city in the US even, pickpockets sound like the biggest threat, you know what I mean? Sometimes, and I wouldn't say that it's such a problem that like you should come like armored, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it does happen, and so you have to watch out. Damn, I'm sorry. They got your whole wallet and everything?
Took my COVID card.
Oh no. And those
my
were
COVID
like,
vaccine card, which was so valuable back then.
So valuable.
Because like you needed that to go anywhere.
Yeah. Damn. That's crazy. And this was on the same trip as you said, Strasbourg, Colmar,
and Chamonix.
And then pit stop in Lyon. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a wild couple of weeks. And then Paris for New Year's Eve right after.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow, you did so much. Yeah.
And after that, the next trip was in London.
On this, like, another vacation? Like, okay.
And this is also after, this is, I think, the February 2022.
Okay.
Right? It's still at my first year in France. And it was me and Brittany's first trip. Aww. So again, for context, Brittany is like one of my bestest friends, known her since my childhood. And
she came all the way from the US.
Yeah.
Just to go on vacation. That's so cool. That's so cool.
And me and her very much fit like the cliche of like two adult friends who are never in their home country at the same time, so they meet in a different country. No, it's so true, because so she's funny. Like we've met in like other countries since.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
And London is such a funny trip, because of all times we go to London, we experience Storm Eunice.
Oh,
They called her Eunice.
Wow, I didn't realize like other places. I mean, this is me being sort of like Florida centric. But in the US, like I know hurricanes, we name our storms because they're big. So this was like a named storm.
Yeah, it was a windstorm. And it lasted the entire time we were there too.
Oh, no.
It wasn't for like a day or two. It was the entire time.
Oh my God.
And it made it really hard to do anything. Like, it was so windy. We were like that SpongeBob episode with the pizza box, you know, like they're trying to deliver pizza, but it's just horrible, like, wind. That was us the entire time. And I don't know why her name is Eunice either.
But we don't like Eunice.
Yeah. And I feel like this taught me a lot about, especially like spring weather. I know it's like February, but it's like the end of February. Because I've noticed I haven't had the best luck with spring.
Okay.
And I think it's because spring is such a hit or miss.
Yeah.
Where the weather just changes drastically anytime.
Yeah. I was going to say temperamental.
Yeah.
Super temperamental weather.
Yeah. Because something similar had happened in Lisbon. A couple months later, I traveled to Lisbon with my friend Eric, who is a really good friend from back home, who you've met as well.
Oh, yeah. Eric. I remember.
And again, Lisbon, of all places, sunny, beautiful. It rains the entire time. Rains, not even sprinkle rain.
Like pours.
Yeah, it pours. So
yeah, it is really hit or miss. I think I have, again, there are a few things that I've been lucky for when it comes to this, and there was a period of time. I don't think I have this luck anymore. I think I had it for like 2 or 3 trips where it was expected to be bad because of the time of year, and we get there and they're like, wow, we have like unseasonably great weather. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh yes. Like one time I was in Edinburgh and it just always rains there, you know. I was there for 2 days and I think I had the best weather. It was bright, everyone was outside, not a cloud in the sky, beautiful. And then I think the same time of year, February 2022, I was in we were in Prague, Vienna, and Budapest. We did sort of one of those trips. We have the 2 weeks, so we fill it. And we trained from each of those cities to the next. And we were in Budapest, and they were like, it's really nice out. Like, not a cloud in the sky again. Like, it was winter there, obviously, but really sunny, you know. Since then though, I've also had a few trips where it's like we were supposed to go to, you know, you go on like a beach vacation trip and weather's shit the whole time. But okay, so London and Lisbon, spring like sort of weather, and you got rain the whole time.
I really feel like fall is the perfect time to like travel, because I've never really been like, at least in the fall, I've never experienced like horrible weather. Okay. Because it feels pretty steady to me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, same. Yeah. I've never complained about fall weather anywhere I went. Yeah. It's true. Nice. So we're following your path, right? Each sort of vacation in your first year. And then I just mentioned Hungary and...
Yeah, because, you know, I was actually also in Budapest the next day.
Oh, really?
I remember seeing your Instagram story, because I don't know if you remember, but I actually messaged you asking for recs.
Oh, yeah.
For clubs.
Oh, my God.
And you're like, oh, we didn't go to any clubs.
Yeah, I wasn't in that era yet.
Yeah.
Also, visiting that part of Europe was sort of just a taste of Eastern Europe. I would really love to do more. Not only is it affordable, I hear, but it's beautiful. Like the Baltic region. I met someone in Greece who was talking about wanting to go there and do, you know, hikes and all this stuff. And I see videos on Instagram all the time now of like people discovering different parts of the countries over there. And I would really, really love to do that. I'm also in a big, like, I need to get back out into nature mood, because I haven't had a big hiking trip in so long, even though I'm going to La Réunion soon. That'll probably feed that urge to get back out into nature a little bit more. But yeah, Eastern Europe in general. I mentioned I did Prague, Vienna, Budapest in order. And we had the best weather in Budapest. We had the worst weather in Prague. But again, we're talking February. It was completely overcast. But I really did love Prague. I think we went to a theater there, and that was one of the most magical things. I think I texted my family after because I was like, surreal, what an opportunity. I think we went to the theater there that was apparently Mozart's like favorite theater in all of Europe. And I was blown. I saw an opera for the first time in my life, and I didn't cry, but thinking back to how I felt that evening, I was like, wow, what an incredible experience. Like that was probably my most memorable moment from Prague. I really, really would love to explore that region a bit more.
Yeah. I've also been to Prague. I went last winter with my friend Abby and my friend Edith. And we also went to the theater, but had a totally different experience.
Oh, you went to the same one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so special. That's so funny. I didn't realize.
Like, I don't know if you also experienced this, but we did not dress up.
Oh.
I don't know if you...
I don't remember. We were not as dressed up as everybody else, but I remember I was actually so hot because I wore this sweater dress. And so I was more dressed up. Yeah. No. I would say that we were not in jeans or like shorts or anything. Oh, it was cold. So, yeah. But we weren't in jeans, I would say.
So earlier that day, we had said we really wanted to see something at the theater. And there were like last minute tickets for the ballet.
Yeah, you can get them pretty easy. Yeah.
And pretty affordable. I think we all paid like definitely less than 20. And for whatever reason, we didn't like catch this. But we show up to the theater. We are also a little bit late.
Oh, no.
Which I felt horrible about. Yeah. And we get there and they show us to our spots and we're like, where are the chairs? There's no chairs.
No.
We had bought standing tickets to watch from the balcony. And this is like a 3-hour plus long ballet.
Brutal. It was really long. Yeah. I think we saw an opera, but it was so long.
And on top of that, we were not dressed up at all because, to give some context, the only other ballet I've been to is here in Bordeaux at the theater. And it's a very beautiful theater as well, but no one really dresses up. I mean, people, I don't want to say not dressed up, but they're pretty casual when they go to the ballet here in Bordeaux, I feel like.
Yeah, I've been once, and like I didn't like wear a dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I literally was wearing like cargo pants, my docks.
No.
And like a white long sleeve with like this kind of red sweater vest going on.
No.
And I
cargo
just remember,
pants.
like black cargo pants. And I just remember thinking, like, what have I done? This is so embarrassing. I can do better than this.
Yes. Well, I mean, I've seen your wardrobe, and you could have been, to the nines for that ballet. That's for sure. But that's brutal.
I know. And like the worst part is like docks are not made, at least mine, because I have platform Mary Jane docks. They are not, at least in my opinion, not made to stand in one spot for 3 hours at a time.
I don't think we had, I think I would remember if we had standing only, but we were all the way at the top in the balcony, but we had seats, I'm pretty sure.
No, yeah. So those, like, there are still those, but we somehow ended up with tickets that were standing only.
No wonder they were so affordable.
Yep. And like now when I look back, I'm like, of course they were affordable.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's brutal. Okay. Yeah, read the fine print, I guess.
Yeah. And we stuck out so much.
Really?
Because everyone was wearing dresses and suits.
Yeah.
I was wearing my docks and cargos.
That's so funny. Cargo pants to the ballet. Anna.
I know. I can do better. I can literally do so much better. It's all I kept thinking about. Like, I was like, no one knows how like cool I can dress. And I was like, no one even cares, girl. You're standing. You're standing. Yeah, they're sitting.
It's true. It's like,
you think they're looking at you? So funny.
Brutal. Okay. Speaking of shows, that one in Prague, right, was so impactful, right? I was like, this is the coolest thing. I can't believe I'm here. So in the next city over in Vienna, we saw a ballet. We saw my friend Ava's, like, one of her favorite ballets. I think it's called Giselle. We saw that in Vienna.
Yeah.
That was super cool. And then the only other time I've been to the ballet would be in Bordeaux, and we saw Cinderella, and that was really cool.
Yeah. That's what I saw too.
Yeah.
I think I went. I think you might have gone maybe in the beginning, and I went in the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
of
I
the
did that.
season.
Yeah, I did that when I first moved to Bordeaux. That was like,
Yeah.
it was so cool. Really, really happy I got to do
Yeah.
that, because I haven't gotten to do it since. But the shows there are beautiful. That theater is magnificent. I just learned that it's one of the only, like, grand théâtre, like these big opera houses. It's one of the few that hasn't, like, burned down.
Really?
Because it's, it's super old.
Yeah.
So it's mostly made out of wood. And in the old days, they had chandeliers with candles, right? And so fire. And so that's honestly how so many of these theaters have burned down since the beginning, because, light was fire. But I learned recently that Bordeaux has never burned down. So it's, like, intact from hundreds of years ago. And the funny thing is they even, because it was such a problem of theaters burning down, the architects actually installed special, at the time, like, fire, something to, if it did catch on fire, they could drop a bunch of water really fast.
Oh, like smoke alarms.
Kind of like, or sprinklers.
Yeah, sprinklers.
Yeah. It's like of that era, that is installed. So that's actually still installed because it was never used.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? So Bordeaux's theater is really beautiful, and that was cool to see.
Yeah.
Other than that, any other, like, big shows was Harry Styles with you, and that's, like, concert level. And then you got to go earlier this year, and I wanted to go so bad to see Tyler, the Creator, in Paris. Oh my God.
Yes.
So jealous. Still to this day.
But I mean, it sold out so quickly.
Yeah.
So when I had bought tickets to Tyler, the Creator, it was during a very busy moment in my life. So I don't know if I mentioned this. I am a master's student.
Yes.
And
not just any master's student, a Sciences Po master's student.
yes.
And that's really hard. If you don't know, that's really hard. Whatever you did for your master's, triple it. That's Anna's master's. Okay.
And so when I bought these tickets, I didn't really look at who the opening artists were. Like, not at all. Really, which is...
I don't remember who they were, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was honestly day of that I realized, like, oh my God, I'm going to see Lil Yachty
oh my
in
God.
person.
Oh my God.
He's so funny.
He's so funny.
Yeah. It was so random.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, like, who's this?
Mm-hmm.
Like Lil
no
Yachty
way. Yeah.
is the opening act. And there was also, like, a really good opening act as well. I became a bigger fan after the concert. I had known them a little bit before, but there's also this group called Paris, Texas.
Okay.
And, like, very much, like, Tyler vibes. It was just such a good concert because everyone was, like, singing. Like, it just, like, filled the stadium. And he is such a good performer. Like, you could tell he really thought out his story.
Yeah.
He really thought out the layout of the concert itself, the lights, everything. I feel like it was just so beautiful. It was a very just well thought out story because the concert, it starts off with Chromacopia. So he's singing only songs on that album, but then he transitions into his other albums. And the way the concert is laid out is there's a stage in the middle and it looks like a little house. And he's pretending to go through a bunch of vinyls and each vinyl are his albums.
Oh, wow.
And
so he did like a recap.
Yeah,
almost.
he did like a recap where he would take out an album, pretend to put it on the record player, and then boom, like start performing.
Damn. Oh my God. I'm
Yeah.
so mad. This is also, though, a testament again to, sort of doing things maybe a little bit differently. Like, some people sort of wait until, whether this artist is going to come to their city or not. And this is 1,000 times harder, I think, in the US. But here we almost have this opportunity to travel to concerts. And sometimes it is like the more affordable way of doing things, because like it's not like he was going to come to Bordeaux or anything. Paris was the place to go. Right. But we have friends who went to London to see Beyonce, and Paris. Shout out to Luca.
He went to both.
He went to both. But yeah, like I guess making a trip also around a concert could be a really good way to
absolutely
travel also. You're like, oh, you don't just want to go to the city for a concert. I think I have a friend, who actually went from Florida to Toronto to see Olivia Rodrigo, I think. Either Olivia Rodrigo or Taylor Swift. And she went and made a trip out of, Toronto because of the concert. So that's actually a really good sort of thing to do too. If, a concert doesn't come to your city, that's a good way to think about it. And I'm not a concert goer as much as I wish I could be, because I think seeing Tyler would have probably launched me into something that like, oh my God, I need to go to more concerts.
Yeah.
From the way you're describing it, it sounds magical. Well, we've been going at it for a little while now. We got your walk down memory lane. Now it's time. Anna, have you decided, are you going to share your no context? You have the right to refuse, right? As I remind everybody. You can maybe remind us of the idea behind it and then let us know if you're going to give the context or not.
Yeah, so the context was I had one beer in another country. Yeah. And it ended up with me going to the hospital and getting a shot on my butt.
Okay. Are you going to give the context?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So this is actually in Laos.
Oh!
Yeah.
No way!
And this was 10 years ago. And so the drinking age over there is like much younger, as most countries are. So I was 18. I remember having lunch with my brother and our cousins, and my mom wasn't there. I think my mom was off doing something else with her sister. And yeah, I had one beer. Like, I'm pretty sure I had like one Heineken.
Yeah.
And
Heineken too. It's like nothing crazy.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing crazy. But I started feeling like a little woozy.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just like the feeling just did not go away. But so in Laos, there are obviously a lot of bugs that bite you.
Oh no.
And I think what had happened is I had probably been bitten by a couple of ants, because the ants out there do bite you.
Oh.
And I don't know if they were like poisonous, fire ants. Something was going on, you know? And I just felt so sick. And so I ended up going to like a doctor, hospital type thing with my mom. Yeah. And the doctor was like, it's not from drinking one beer. It's probably because you got bit by a bunch of insects, that your body's not used to. Yeah. And the only option was to get a shot on my butt. So I went and had a beer. I had to call my mommy and be like, Mom, I don't feel good. Can you pick me up?
That's so funny. You're like, oh my God, I overdid it.
Yeah, because I was like only 18, so I was like, oh no. Because I could not think what else it could have been.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny. But it was bugs. Yeah. Well, that's another thing to know about Lao. Maybe lots of things can bite ya. Oh goodness. And the listeners maybe don't know this about Anna, but one mosquito bite and Anna explodes. Yeah.
So I think I'm also probably very sensitive to insects. Yeah. Like the thing is, they don't scare me. Right. But they can hurt me.
Yeah. Yeah. For whatever reason. Yeah. If Anna gets bit, it blows up.
Yeah. It literally like. One time I had a mosquito bite on my forehead and it looked like a golf ball hit me.
Oh my God.
Like I don't know. I should probably go get that checked out.
Yeah. But you're sensitive to bug bites. Like
I'm super sensitive to bug bites.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
That's wild. Oh, goodness. Well, wow. It was so nice to hear all of the things that you've done. Because I know you know, before I met you, so much of what you said was before I met you, actually.
Yeah.
So, it's cool to hear about what you've been able to do. Anna and I have been really, really close these past few years. And so I was so excited to have you on the podcast. And what's happening next is even more exciting. Because she's going to Taiwan.
Yes, so as Sarah mentioned, I'm going to Taiwan for 4 months, from August to December, to do yet again another study abroad, because it's an exchange with my institution and an institution in Taipei, Taiwan. I'll be studying at National Taiwan University. And it also just makes sense because, as Sarah mentioned, I study political science, like more specifically international relations. So obviously I need the international aspect.
Yeah.
Even though I'm already an American studying in France, there needs to be another international aspect.
Yeah.
So here I go.
Yeah. And she just got a call saying that her visa's on the way.
Yeah.
Literally
Ooh.
during the podcast, we had to stop.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
yeah. Which is, again, a whole other thing. If we haven't mentioned it before on here, the whole visa process is like such a headache. And so to get that call is like so reassuring.
Yeah, it was such a relief.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay. And I bet, in a year from now, we'll have a whole other episode ready to
For
go.
sure.
Just talking about Taiwan and all the cool things you're going to do there. And then after that, she'll be back in Bordeaux. So
Yeah.
to live or to just stop by and pick up the stuff she's storing at my place.
Yeah.
So it's not goodbye, it's see you later. But I'm really excited for you. So that's going to be cool. Alrighty, so let's wrap it up. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If you have not already, as I like to say, please follow travellikeYou.pod on Instagram and TikTok. If you want to leave a comment, send me a DM. If you want to be featured on the podcast, you can do it there. Or you can send an email to travellikeyoupod@gmail.com. Otherwise, leave a like, leave a 5-star review, and hope you come back and listen to the next episode.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.